Wesley Snipes tax evasion.
Right?
Hi everyone, welcome to a new stream, A Gathering of Branches. This is a Pendragon role-playing game, ongoing campaign, following alongside another campaign that's using the Great Pendragon campaign book. So where the other game will be following along through themes like King Arthur and Excalibur and Uther, Lancelot, the Holy Grail. This will be looking a bit more at the county of Summerland and King Cadwy, the Magician King, and themes like Merlin and Lady of the Lake, as well as things like Morgan Le Fay and Morgana. We have with us, we got a guest here. Yes, you're allowed, Liam. You can watch.
We're live.
We're live.
Live.
We're live. So why don't we do some introductions? I'm Bob, the GM. You can find the prologue that's been going for about 20 sessions at the point of this recording. That will kind of branch off if you want to know a little bit more behind the scenes for this game. Branch. You can find out more there. And then I'm going to kick it over to Rebecca for introductions.
Boy. Hi everyone. I am Rebecca, and I am here today, and I'm the first one. And
That's
hi,
that's
Liam.
good. All right, and then we'll pass it over to Emily.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm also here. I don't have a name for my character yet, unfortunately.
It's all right. It's session 0. We're figuring out the rest. And then, last but not least, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am, shockingly, also here. I do have a name for my character, and it means River of Carrion, which I'm very excited about.
Perfect.
I have a name too, but I didn't know we were doing names.
I didn't either.
It's okay. This is all 0 sessions, so we're going to be looking at the creation process overall, which is going to be vastly different than what we did for the other game. The prologue, we did the creation right out of the books, more or less. This will be different. This will be using some older books that have magic, and let's go over the 3 concepts we have, just at a really high level. So I wanted to organize some themes around this game. So we have Megan playing a martial commoner, I guess, for lack of a better term, and we'll get into the details of that character. This is just the high concept pieces. We have Rebecca playing. What do you want to share about your character, Rebecca?
I am the daughter of a knight.
Perfect. And then last but not least, we have Emily playing a common girl with the gift of sight. So the commoner has been blessed with some sort of enchanting magic, though she doesn't know how to use it quite yet. Not well, anyways. So that's our starting point. This is what this game's going to be. Any questions before we dig in? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and dive in. All right. I'm switching over so we can see some Pendragon stuff. You have your character sheets in Roll20. Just to show you all, I'll give you a quick guided tour. So Summerlin's up here. The other players are playing in Salisbury. And Sarum, you'll be playing in Summerlin. I won't spoil the full details yet. What you need to know about Summerlin at the start of this game is it was previously its own kingdom until King Uther rolled in and changed that. There was a recent, let's say, battle where things got a little weird. There was a strange fog and things happened. Really confusing, honestly. But at the end of the day, Summerland both bent the knee to Uther and yet maintained its status as a kingdom, kind of. So in the kingdom of Logris, which is Uther's kingdom, Summerland is considered a county. and he is Count Cadwy. But to Summerland proper, they are still a kingdom, and he is King Cadwy. And he maintains the title the Magician King. All right, and then I'll give you a quick guided tour. So this is one map of Summerland. I haven't landed on the map I want to use for sure yet, but there's a couple of good ones. There's this one, which kind of shows a bit more detail. It load really slowly. Big map. There we go. So over here, a lot of these names are. So that's Amesbury Abbey from the prologue. Sarum's where their main city is. Camelot Forest, Camelot are down over here. Though Camelot doesn't exist by that name right now. Y'all are up here in Summer. This should be Summerland at this time. Spoiler, it becomes Somerset County, like in the real life thing. And then there's another map that kind of shows a bit more, like all the way to the actual sea. So this is Wells. These are the forests.
Castle Dangerous.
Glastonbury.
Right? Castle Dangerous.
Castle Dangerous.
Go there.
Do you think it's dangerous there?
And lastly, I'll just show England proper and what the situation is right now. And I'll get rid of the things I should have got rid of ahead of time. Get rid of all these. Professional stream, everybody. But so everything in green is the Kingdom of Logris as it exists right now in our timeline. So Summerland is that weird dashy setting for a reason. Cornwall is still independent of Logris, at least in a way. He maintains the title of Duke and maintains a bit of independence. The parts in yellow are places owned by the Saxon invaders. So these are the enemies of Logris. Summerland, though, has the advantage of only recently joining Logris. You've been fairly isolated as a county or as a land. The land's full of magic and strange things. So it's a very different setting to your standard Logris. That is a summary of what we got for the beginning of this game. I'm gonna go back to the original map. All right. So let's dive into the character creation piece. I set each of you a link to the Google Doc, and the Google Doc has different directions for each of your characters because you're using different rules. For Megan, you'll be using the 4th edition rules for building a commoner, and I've spelled those out for you in the Google document. For Rebecca, you'll be using mostly the maiden rules out of the 5.2 edition of Pendragon. And then Emily, you'll also be using the 4th edition book for the magic rules. And I've split those out in detail, but maybe let's start with names and concepts, and then we can dive into the actual creation piece. Does anyone have anything? I know you all were talking names a little bit. Does anyone have anything they want to share?
Yeah. Again, my name is Olwyn.
Owen. Okay.
Olwyn. Olwyn.
Perfect.
I think she's somewhat of a noble, yeah. Daughter of a knight. She's something a bit more than like the commoners, right?
Music was a little high, so
Oh.
your voice is a little quiet too.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah. So, Olwyn of a knight. not sure about the accent, but I think I'm gonna go with it. She's not a commoner.
All right. Yes.
No, Rebecca.
You are a noble.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way this is going to work, we're going to do the 0 session in this session today. Then we're actually probably going to be on hold before the intro sessions start to kick off. They will have to wait for some of the prologue pieces to finish from the other game. But we're nearing the end. We are, I promise. I think so. Today will be the 0 session. Then from there we'll be doing introduction sessions, which will be kind of one-on-ones for most of the folks. And then after that, we'll be diving into the full group of 3, all of you together, and going over the plot in detail.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
So I know this is not as straightforward as just opening up the book to one section and going through the detail of that. So if there's anything I can help with, get started, please let me know.
Now, 4E, is that the most recent edition?
No, version 5.2 is the most recent. They really focus on playing a knight in version 5 and just a knight, where 4 was taking a look at like an expanded kind of concept. But the rules are like 99% compatible, to be honest. They just shaved out the magic system and they changed the way you start. So that Google document that I linked will have your individual directions for creation, like your individual templates.
Now, okay, I'm gonna send it again in the Discord because I've got it up right now. What would happen if someone were to have jumped the gun and already kind of tried their hand at stats?
I think it's okay if you can speak to your stats and your choices just for the audience. I think that would be cool. But absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I can go through the whole thing and like double check it with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I might try to open this up for.
Yeah.
There we go. Now I can switch back and forth. Let me see if that actually looks good on the ish.
No, there's gonna be spoilers.
Spoilers, no.
Okay, we can evade spoilers.
Don't look at my concept. I'll kill you.
All right. Yeah, we can avoid the details there, though they'll probably come out eventually.
Yeah.
Do our best with that one. I may ruin or spoil, but
It's okay.
we did pretty well with things, all things considered, with Dallin. That wasn't easy to hide. So,
Oh boy, I was DMing you so many times, like Bob.
See, I thought Dallin's thing was that Dallin was a guy and he was just gay. And so I spent the entire time going like, wow, I wonder when that secret's gonna come out. And they were like, Dallin's a woman. And I was like,
I mean, you
he's
were
a what?
like kind of half right.
I was right. But I was also very wrong at the same time.
Okay, so all of you should have your sheets open and we can dive into the creation from there. I didn't have a plan for a specific sequence of steps, but you all have a names template. So starting with a name might be the best bet. So we have Olwyn.
Everyone go first.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next since I actually have a name. My name is Aeronwy. That's Aeronwy.
Perfect. And Emily, I know you had more or less decided on a name? Have you locked in?
I have
Or-
a short list.
Yeah. How
Um,
how many is a short list?
the short list is like 6. Give me a minute. I'm working on it, I promise.
No,
It's
so-
okay.
You know
Like-
what? I'm gonna pick one, and I'm just gonna live with it. Is what's gonna happen.
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna-
Sounds like most
Okay.
parents. You're good. I believe in you.
Hey, I'm gonna say 2, and y'all tell me which one you like better. So I have Isbail, which is like their version of Isabel, basically. So it's Ysbail.
Okay, nice.
It literally is their version. It literally, the description was like their version of the Spanish Isabel, or Edain, Edain, Idain. Pick the worst to pronounce, by the way.
Mm.
Try
Which one
Doina.
means
Doina was
slaughter?
terrible.
Do either of them have meanings? I know you were talking about meanings.
So there was another one that I wanted to use, but it's a little too close to Megan's for me to argue using it. But Isbail means God is my oath.
Okay.
I also had
A name for a
Beatrice,
pagan?
which meant Voyager, which I like. Beatrice.
Beatrice?
So I have Beatrice,
Oh, Beatrice.
Isbail, Eden. You like Beatrice?
Oh, Beatrice is cute.
Just
Alright.
cute.
We're doing Beatrice. We're just gonna go with it.
Woo!
I
Right.
circled it on my paper sheet. Put that in. It's spelled Beetrys.
Nice.
Oh.
I always like the spellings. Those are my favorite things.
Yeah.
You get like substituted letters or like added letters. Like, hey, you know what? For this Lynn, we need like 7 L's in there.
Yep. There's one that I wrote down that had like 3 D's at the end of it. I was like, okay, we were very sure about it.
Only
Hell
the-
yes.
Only the second D is silent. The other 2 are.
The other
Really?
2, they are not.
One is quite prominent.
Specifically the middle one.
Middle D will always get you.
Always.
I realize this. I chose the letter for that.
You forgot who was in this.
It's fair. So the next sequence is your land, and this is a little different for each of you. But these are the bonuses that will come with 1, you're naming your homeland. 2, you're choosing your culture, which gives you a bonus to. I think all 3 of you are Kimric, which is like the equivalent of saying from Logos, like the inhabitants of
Makes
Logos.
sense. I would definitely get the connection there.
Right? I think all of you should have a religion or a religion choice, depending on your concept.
Yes, I have mine.
Okay.
I know that Megan had a choice, but had a concern.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So my choice, I actually am allowed to choose between British Christian or British pagan.
Yep.
And my thing is that, and I have a possible solution depending on what rule set we're going on. I really liked the pagan like virtue set. But I don't want to deal with lustful. I don't want to deal with it. So if
Gotcha.
You can start. Knights are allowed to start with a knightly virtue or whatever, or like a famous virtue, where you just like pop one up to like an insanely high number.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on British pagan right now just because like I don't want to deal with lustful. But an alternative that I was considering could be take British pagan and then also take chaste as like
Your
famous virtue.
your famous virtue. I would support
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like the famous virtue would override the. Even though you're not a knight starting class, it seems like actually rather than having it famous, perhaps it just swaps out. Like I think you would start by default. You'd start with lustful at 13. So why don't
Yes.
we put chaste at 13 if you choose to do that?
That is incredible. I will start moving my stats over
And-
immediately.
And by the way, like with the characters and concepts you are, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time forcing you to chase rolls. Like that is more of a mechanic towards knights, especially. There's a lot of Arthurian, Arthurian lore about them ending up in a tower or this or that, or giving way to sin of the flesh, and then leading to, let's say, like a bastard that kills you, or some example.
Alarming considering the events of the current.
Right. Yeah. So.
Oh, Emily.
15 years. Watch out.
Yeah, but in general, for this game, obviously, anything comes up that's you're not cool with, you can pull the time out and say no bueno, and we'll talk about how to fix it, and we'll fix it.
Like
All
red
right.
card.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think you're gonna run into any of this, but we'll throw out that there anyways, just as a
Right.
guardrail, right?
And
Everyone
then my
feels
way.
Yeah.
Fine.
I like to have mechanical safeguards in place.
Exactly, for sure.
Just in case.
I'll be your bestie and swoop in. If anyone's giving you a hard time.
And Thomas is probably like, well, I didn't get that choice. Sorry, Thomas.
Yeah, well.
You chose the faith. You didn't have to. Yeah. I got stuck on religion. I didn't move past it. Let me continue.
A lot of people do that, Bob. It's okay.
That's fair. So religion, obviously, in Pendragon, for those that aren't that familiar with the Arthurian lore or that familiar with the game itself, matters a lot. And the British Christian, the British pagan, is fairly like the culture is blended between the two in Logris to some degree, and that's a lot of if you think of King Arthur, it's a lot of holy and God and crosses, and at the same time, like super pagan concepts in Merlin the Wizard. So you can see that even in the writing. It'll have your father's class or equivalent, your parents' class actually. It'll have your current home, which for all three of you is Summerland. Your child number, which if you have that on your list, you do roll it, because that can determine if you have any siblings and what order of the siblings you're in. They're older or younger. Age, and perhaps some kind of family gift or bonus. And so.
Should I roll the sibling thing now?
Yep, you totally can.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm at a level of confusion.
No. This is
Figuring it out.
It's okay. I've got some stuff.
That
too.
is the highest D6. I've been rolling in my other games terribly for about 2 weeks. It's the highest.
You were
roll I've
saving
gotten
it up
in
for
a
right
while.
now.
Apparently.
Is that your child number? Is that what that roll is?
Yeah, that's my child number.
So you're the fifth child.
I'm the fifth child.
So,
Oof.
mine says roll d6 to determine, and it's a minimum of 2. So I assume that means like I at least have an older sibling.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the character sheet, it says daughter number, not child number. Does that matter?
It's okay. It's the same.
So still
same
5.
concept. We don't have a magician, like a magic template for this sheet.
Okay.
So we're gonna be doing our best with. Your sheet might have probably the most.
Oh my
Hacks.
shit!
Did you get 6?
I got
We're all
6.
rolling high for no reason whatsoever.
I'm a little baby.
Don't worry, they're not all living for sure. This is the
Wow.
Middle
Yeah, I was gonna
Ages.
say, given the time period, most of those
Just
are probably
like-
dead.
There's a reason why they had so many kids, and that's that most of them didn't last.
They frequently named children the same thing over and over again in the
Four.
hopes that one of them would make it. It's like we have like 4 Charles.
Okay, and if you want to figure out, we'll earmark that actually, but we'll figure out your sibling, like how many of them are alive and who they are towards the end, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay, so our first roll's done. Yay! We're on a roll.
I'm so sorry for my lighting.
That wasn't even. I didn't even mean that, and then I'm like, wow, that was a super dad joke. Any questions for your sections called your land on the sheet? Each of you have a few things that are different.
I
My land.
don't have one. Oh wait, I have Homeland, which is Summerland, but I don't think I have a Your Land.
I don't have a your land.
Summerland is within the Your Land section.
Yeah, it's like a title. You'll see.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah.
I had a question that I've realized is not going to be relevant for me at all because I already jumped the gun and allocated my stats. But it might end up being relevant for Rebecca just because
Neat.
their stats jump around a bit more.
Yeah.
So I'm Cymric, so I get a +3 con, but then because my father's class is a peasant,
Right,
I get
right.
another +2 con. So I know that the Cymric thing makes it so that your cap on like how many points you can allocate into Constitution goes up from like I think 18 to 21.
mhm.
So does the father's class those like freebie points towards my thing,
Yeah,
or does
correct.
it also like raise it up? So
It doesn't change your max con. Your max con will still be the 21. I think is what it is, but it gets you further
Got it.
up that, so you can be, if you wanted to throw into that in size, you could be a giant of a person if you wanted to. It just tends to mean that the commoners, they're working hard, they're working the land, and they're a little more rugged. So that's what it's.
Got it.
That's what
All
it's
right.
intended to cover.
Good to know.
You lose other bonuses, right, with not being a knight, so that's why it seems really great, but there's a lot of skills and stuff you don't have,
Yeah, there are things that I noticed further down that I was like, that's different from how they're building the knights.
Yes, very much so.
Mhm.
They're all these concepts will build using different rules, and it's for a good reason. You'll see as we go.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm here for anyone that has questions. If once you're done with your lands section, we can move on to the peoples or the
Is any-
third template, the third subject.
Does anybody else have the loyalty lord 2d6 thing that I have?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Where is
Um,
that?
It's still in the your lord section for me.
Your
or
land.
section.
Yeah, no,
I will check for you.
I'm not loyal to anyone apparently.
Wouldn't it?
That's me. Okay, what are you doing
Wow.
in me? Get out of me.
No one has it except for me. Okay, well, I did roll the 2d6 before, and what I got was a 9. I'm not very loyal to my lord. Fuck that guy, I guess.
Does
Not
it say
him, he's
who
a jerk.
our lord specifically is? Did you say that
Right.
and I was messing with my lighting, or?
Lords will be a little. Actually, it won't be that different. It will be actually. So
Oh God.
it won't be. It will be. It
Fair
won't
enough.
be. It will be. So
Playing by
you
rabbit.
Yes,
you
but
all
actually
follow up
no.
the chain to King Cadwy. However, one of you is a noble and one of you is not a noble, or two of you are not nobles. So for Megan, your noble is not King Cadwy. You have a lord in the middle, and I'll give you their name.
His name
They've
Malcolm.
they've been on the Pendragon game before.
Oh, a named
Oh,
character.
They are. Give me a sec. Lady Gwynedd de Barrowcrest, the one that met with Sir Dallin when he was lost in the forest and beat the Goblin Knight and then was taken to her. The one with
Oh
the
shit, the
yeah.
sexy lady that he didn't
The one
quite
that
bomb out on.
the one that was almost played by someone super cool.
No, that's a different one.
Oh,
How do you spell her name?
okay.
This is always
Oh.
fun. GWYNEDD.
Oh, double D of
Double
what?
D.
So Gwyn GWYN and then EDD.
Right, yeah. So just Lady Gwynedd.
Gwynedd, yeah. And then of Barrowcrest. So Barrow.
Barrow. Barrow like a Barrow King?
Yeah, like the Barrow Downs.
All right.
And he said I don't, or I have a different one.
Yeah,
Right? Or am
do you
I-
have Loyalty Lord on your list?
No, I don't.
I don't think I do.
She doesn't
Yeah, I think
care.
neither you do.
If it doesn't come with your templates, do not worry about it. It's just not a passion you start with. So
Right.
because all of you have different templates.
Wild.
Apparently all of our cameras have gone dark.
Oh no.
Oh,
All of them?
well,
All of them.
mine is gonna be super
Oh.
dark.
I was gonna say yours is gonna be dark no
We're-
matter what.
We're kind of back. My camera's gone.
Your camera's gone. At least in Discord, because that's what I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, it's up now.
Can
Mine
you
is-
see mine?
Minus mine, apparently.
Yours is still not. but
Mine's
everyone
not?
else is. No, Bob's.
Oh.
Thomas says it's fixed.
It's good.
Oh,
Yeah. It decided to crap out, but it's working. Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
hell yeah.
I was like, if mine's gone, I don't know how to fix it.
It's okay.
Let's
We'll do our best.
say someone's
All
gonna have to
we can
awkwardly
do.
walk me through it over voice chat.
Do our best tools we have.
Okay. So, yeah. I can't really guide this one, I'm realizing, because you all have different templates. Does anyone want to go first, or does anyone have any questions I can help with?
I have so many questions. I maybe shouldn't go first.
All of the questions.
I had a single question. I have 10 in industry, and industry is not a skill on my sheet. Should I just add it to it?
Yeah, I think at the bottom of skills there's an add button, so you can just add, then write industry in it. Oh, you don't have
We
industry
have-
on your sheet.
Yeah,
I
do we
don't have
different-
industry on my sheet.
Is it not right underneath heraldry? And above intrigue?
No, it's not. That's
Oh.
hunting.
What do you mean that's hunting? You have hunting?
I have hunting, and I have 5 in it.
Oh, interest. What sheet are you? You're using a knight sheet. That's why. Aha. Yeah. So it's on a woman's character sheet or a commoner's character sheet that would probably. Actually, they don't have a commoner.
Well,
Yeah.
I've added industry 10.
Okay, perfect.
Gender roles.
I am just that talented.
Welcome to what is it? 480. 483.
Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Emily, let's knock off any of your questions specifically in the area of your land. So anything to do with.
I don't have your land questions. I have after your land
Okay.
questions.
Yeah. So we'll hold off on the people's questions for a minute for you.
I have questions on everything, really. It's just because I don't know the system. So you can do whatever.
I also don't know if we actually got an answer to the Lord question officially, or is that's for later.
Yes. So Rebecca, yours is King Cadwy.
CADWE.
CADWY.
Why? So close. Hatchie. All right.
You want to see what he looks like?
Yeah. Show
Okay.
me my lord.
You'll love it.
Will I?
You will. I do.
Oh,
But I just
wow.
assume everyone else loves what I love. That's how it works, right?
Wow.
That is your King Cadwy.
Oh, an old man. Oh, he's like.
He looks like he knows
Yeah.
how to have a good time.
He's got like. Oh God. Bacchus energy.
Yeah.
Not Dionysus. In my mind, I know it's wild, but like, I have such a distinction between Bacchus and Dionysus.
As long as you know that this man is
too.
a Bacchus and not a Dionysus.
Baccha.
Okay.
Wow. You'd say that
Santa.
about your lord?
Santa Claus. Yes, I would. They are different, Thomas. Thank you.
This is horrible. What is the Twitch channel called so that I can pull up what y'all are saying?
Twitch.tv/Bonway. BONWAY. Wink.
If someone wants to throw that in the
I
stream fam too, that would be.
want it.
I would do it, but the moment
That's
I.
how I've accessed it before now.
I got you. I got you.
Thank
I
you.
got you.
So I just realized you were seeing an image through that. And
No, fuck you, goddammit, Megan!
Ah.
Ha! You fucked it up.
I unfucked
Damn it.
it.
Unfucked. That's what that Chase 13 gets you.
No, I think that's what the famous virtue would get me is that I can unfuck things just by being super chaste.
So chaste. I'm gonna make it so chaste for you.
Me so chaste.
that way I can actually see what's going on. Alright.
So, Rebecca, your secrety stuff that we were calling the section with your secrety stuff, we're just going to call that peoples. Okay?
Peoples. The special boys. Special
I
lads,
renamed
if you
the
will.
title for you with quotes around it.
Hey. Crime boys.
Is everyone ready to go on to the people section?
Yep.
All three?
I believe so. We're not assigning points yet, right? Because I've got like attribute points.
If in your lands, you had directions to assign attribute points, feel free to go ahead and do so.
Oh boy, I don't know how cozy I feel with that quite yet.
Like some of them are designed for you with just looking at your template. You have traits, passions, and skills that are mostly defined for you
So,
according to your the fact you're a noble lady of the court, your pagan religion. You have some default passions and default skills that come with, let's say, the gender role that you would have fulfilled up to the start of the session. Where everything is then your choice.
Right.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So I have a +3 to a few things. Do I just put 3 into that stat right now? In my land.
Yeah, so for Kimrick, your +3 from Con, for example, you can just go ahead and add 3 for now, and then the rest will.
And then what about for the other ones under Mother's class? Do I touch any of that or not yet?
You can make a note for the skill points and then come back to it when you plug in your template down below if you want.
Okay.
So you can just say like the 20 skill points and those.
Okay.
You can make a note to come back to those if it makes sense to grab something people section first.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
It's just there's just so many numbers and so many sections.
There is. So if you need any help dissecting it, please let me know. More than happy to help.
Dice. Okay.
Is hatred of Irish a passion?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Some
add that then.
people-
That was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. I've never heard of this game before.
Well, goodness.
And I
fucking
to
can't
someone-
stand Irish people.
Well-
does that work in my favor for right now?
It can. So I'll show you on the map real quick. You'll see with your location, you're real close to Ireland, and
It's
so
Ireland. Welcome.
Ireland is here. You are here. Ireland doesn't have a particularly good name with people of Logris or the people on this island. It's not really what we would know in, say, modern day, where it's England the invaders. It's more like Ireland the invaders, or raiders might be more the appropriate thing. So your lands have probably been raided by the Irish prior, and that's.
Yeah,
I might need to discuss that with you then, because there is a backstory element that might be Irish related, but when I rolled hatred of Irish, I only got a 7, so.
Okay, so in other words, you would have wanted a higher level because that was like.
It is an
important to your
integral
character.
backstory element.
Yeah.
However, didn't have to be Irish guys who did it. Could have been someone else.
Gotcha. Could always be Saxons. We have a lot of roll
always
for
be
racism Saxons in other games.
I don't have the hatred Saxon stat, but what if I added one?
I have
Just
it.
piling on the racism stats.
I think I hate the Saxon. Sorry.
as
Mark.
someone who has a very outside view of this game, these stats sound hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we actively said roll for racism in the other game.
My older brother likes this kind of stuff, and I've talked it over with him before. And I had a chat with him, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I have to roll for how much I hate the Irish." I was like, "This is the weirdest roll I will ever do."
Thomas thinks it's a bad role for racism, Megan. Unfortunately.
I know, right?
know.
It's real weak. Only 7.
Yeah.
Not
I know
like
I rolled
Edward.
9. I don't remember. I'm gonna pop.
To be fair, 7 would mean that you maybe. Yeah, we'll talk it over, right? Because there's different options. One, we can see if you end up with any other passions, right? We can always throw you like the hate Saxons if you want to go that route, because it's not like, look, Summerlin's probably been on top of being invaded by Salisbury Knights. Ooh, that's another option, actually. That happened like 3 years ago. So it could totally
we
be.
do have
We have
suspicion
suspicious of
Salisbury for
Salisbury.
+3.
Yeah. That's right. It's almost like they
I
came
have-
into your realm and took border lands from you. Yeah.
That's so weird that they would do that.
My hatred of the Saxons is 8, so I hate the Saxons slightly more than you hate the Irish.
Where
See,
did my hate
what
the
I'm worrying
Irish
about-
roll go?
Maybe it's just
If-
like you're
if
like,
I-
I don't hate all Irish, just the ones that fuck
Just
me over.
these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be that. I think it would be very
It's the
funny if
blonde
we added
one.
a hate Saxons roll, and then I also rolled a really low number for that one too. So it's just like, who
I
am mad
marginally
at? No
hate
one.
a large number of people that invade us, but like all the same,
I
like
kind
it's
of
more like a,
dislike a
a
lot of
spread.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious of Salisbury folk, but I don't see my
might-
role. Did I read somebody else's about their hatred for the Irish? Do I not have? Oh, I do have it. There it is. Never mind.
The fuck
wait a
the
minute.
Irish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I roll for how much I love my family. Oh no.
Yeah, what if you get a bad
What if
roll?
I roll like
Give a
crap,
number.
guys?
Then I
Oh,
guess you don't love your
no.
family very much, Emily.
I mean, I've
Wow.
played a character that doesn't love her family before. It's not the worst thing I'll ever do, but
You'll be an average modern person.
that was my favorite thing. It was like at one point being like, "Tell your family you love them," and she was like, "I mean, yeah, Like, sure,
I guess.
I guess."
Sure.
I felt so bad. I was like, "She's trying. This is a lot of effort for this character." She liked the other player characters more than she liked her own family. It was a very odd dynamic to play out. Okay. I still have to do all the stats before that. Yeah, with the magic, my people's section gets kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have
Just a
the
little
largest, like every magic system everywhere. That's the.
I don't normally play magic users. I'm trying to understand.
It's okay. I'm not going to be able to actually
Oh yeah, I know.
walk you through the magic statistics and all that yet because I'm still learning it. But I promise you, by the time we start the game, I'll have it, fluent. Because I need to.
Yeah.
But in general, the way magic works is it'll be fairly underpowered at the start. And I'm not talking about fireballs, but later on, your ability to influence the fabric of reality will be up there a bit, right? Like you see with Merlin and Morgana or Morgan Bay, insert that type of magic here. So there's like glamour and different types of magic, and you'll have different skills in it. So
One of them lets you turn into a bus if you're a cat.
I'm sorry, what?
That's the Morgana trait.
It lets me turn into what?
A bus.
A
From
bus?
Persona 5.
Buses don't
It's
exist.
called back into the last stream, Emily. It's It's a reference to Persona 5. It's okay.
Okay. I was like, I'm lost.
Oh,
God,
you were about to
really.
tell such a lie. You're gonna convince Emily that they got in a bus last session?
No,
I
I
would have
wasn't
believed
actually.
you.
But
I've seen crazier things.
it was legitimately a callback to the Thomas is even, saying so in the chat. They did mention Morgana, the cat bus, because somebody said Lady On, and Liam couldn't help himself.
I'm gonna rename Rebecca to Darth Rebecca with that
Yeah, I was
backlighting.
gonna say Rebecca looks terrifying.
I would be okay with that.
Someone play a Darth Vader theme. I was like, I love how the front lighting is red too. Like, or like red tinted. It's even better. Her.
I got multicolor stuff. Looks very funky. Here, I'll. This is the rainbow one. See it like.
It is Pride Month.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You can
goodness.
get like strobe light.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's the worst.
So, my lighting is horrible in my room because they're giant saucer lights in the ceiling. So, I'm trying to avoid those by having this little itty bitty tiny light and hoping that it's illuminating enough.
That's good.
That I don't look
It's actually
backlit.
decent lighting.
But
But I'm looking
thank you. I
for like
tried very hard.
Okay. This is a lot harder character creation than your standard knight creation. So, and there's unique pieces for all of you that are specific to your concept. That's the unique.
So I've put everything like that has a number in it, I think.
Okay.
And then it says heighten to attributes and traits, but I didn't assign all 60 of my attribute points yet.
Right, like it's adding bonuses to a couple. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can just earmark that, like throw it in notes or whatever you want to do there, and do the.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do the bonuses first, if you want to do the actuals first, you're welcome. The funny thing with yours is it's actually the least hacked version and the most up to date, and it's still broken that way. Like that's right out of 5.2, save for the little special add-on part.
I'm looking at everyone else. Like Megan has 15 points to assign, and Emily has like 20 skill points. Like I have 60 attribute points. I have to just.
You have 60?
Attribute.
I thought we all have
points,
60
but...
attribute points to allocate.
Oh.
Yeah. There's attribute points and skill points.
You're right.
So we all have 60 for attributes. Then we have varying levels of skill points to allocate. And I haven't done my skill points yet.
I'm
I
trying.
was looking and I didn't see attribute points anywhere else. So it's just like it typically says you have 60. I didn't see that from anyone else's. So I was like, is everyone else's just done?
So
Panic.
I appreciate that I have the swimming skill. It's a very important skill. Just pointing. I don't know if it's important in this game, but it's very important in life. I was a lifeguard for several years. Learn how to swim. It's my PSA for the day.
That's fair.
Very happy. I had the horse skill, and I sent a message in the chat because I was so excited that I had points in horsemanship. I've never.
Horse.
I was gonna say, I was like, the amount of useless horse facts coming y'all's way. I'm so sorry. I can choose my horse and its breed. You are kidding. I need to get away from this. I'm gonna get too excited about it the entire night.
Horse girl hours.
I was gonna say, I was a horse. I am a horse girl. I used to compete. I miss it so much.
What if I put all 15 of my peasant points into intrigue? I think that's a good move, right, guys?
I don't even know this game.
Really
It
coming
seems-
for Dallin Bass, huh?
You're right. I do have to kill Dallin in literally every single way possible, including intrigue. Okay, maybe a couple points in courtesy at least.
This isn't like a sliding scale or anything. Like it is literally that many points, right? Like in Vampire, it's when you're upping skills, certain things cost 2 points, and then it's like 3
Nope.
times the
No.
number.
Yeah, it's just a full pool. But there are limits, right, that might be listed for each of you.
I have 0 intrigue. Does that mean I'm just not intriguing at all?
Means you're not very good at the whole political rating a political situation or
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, which is why I
like an
was
odd.
joking about putting all of my peasant points into it, because there's
to be
absolutely
real good
nothing
at it.
about peasant life that would prepare me for court intrigue.
Oh my
You
goodness.
should leave it to the professionals, darling.
Absolutely not. I have to destroy Dallin.
Yeah,
Personally.
so do I.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna
Alright.
look up attributes because I realized I don't have very good directions for that, do I? Let me see what 4th edition said. Let's make sure it is 60.
So, just general question to the group. I don't understand personality traits
Okay.
from the get-go.
Well, you see.
I have ones assigned to me, and it says that all the ones that are not at 13 are at 7. Do I just fill that in?
Alright, so you see how on your character sheet, like under personality traits, there's like a sliding scale, or like not a sliding scale, but there's a something/something.
Yes.
So all of them should like add up to 20.
Okay, so that's why in the thing it says the other, like any of them that aren't at 13 are at 7.
Correct.
Okay. Does lustful mean I have to be good at flirting?
No.
No, lustful means you just gotta respond to flirting.
I just have to respond to flirt. That's still not great.
Yeah, like
Yeah, again, I'm
hey,
not.
you're pretty, and you're
I
like, yes,
panic,
thank
friends.
you,
I have
I'm
no
ready.
problem with it. I just panic.
Mm.
As a player, I panic.
In my in one of my games, I had a moment where I was very confidently flirting with a lady, and it was a lady that Rebecca knew was a very bad idea. But my character is like, probably a bad idea, and I can handle it, and I'm into it. And then this other lady came up and like started saying like, you don't want to go home with her. I was like, yeah, I do. And then started like also kind of flirting with me. And then Rebecca suddenly didn't know what to do. Like, oh no, 2 lady flirt with me.
Women?
2 pretty lady pay attention to me. I'm gonna just retreat. And I know that the character that I was playing would have had a very different reaction to that. But staying in character was very hard because I was just suddenly very, very, very flushed and
Yeah, I mean,
panicked.
that's bonkers. I don't know who would ever, like, encounter a romantic proposal in the middle of a game and then panic so hard that they make their character run away from the scene. I don't know
No?
who would do that. No one. I did that.
Yeah.
I think I might have done that once. I don't respond I freak out. I need a minute to figure it out.
I need, like, a warning. That
Yeah, I was gonna
someone's
say, if I have
gonna
warning,
flirt
I'm
with
fine.
me.
Depending
What we're hearing is
on
that this is gonna be a lot of running away from
yeah,
me.
depending on like the character that I'm playing, I'm usually super good at like staying in that mindset during like a flirty, romantic, whatever scene. But I don't know, like, something happened in that scene that I just, brain short circuit, no worky anymore. Kind of almost happened like when Jennifer was flirting with me too.
How
Like Rebecca was like, "Oh boy, oh no."
how are y'all rolling for like hatred of the Irish?
Well, okay. Let me
Is there a
look
button
at
for it? Because
yours.
the yells are
You
coming
do
up very nicely.
slash it, yeah, it was just we just
Slash
rolled it in
R.
the same way that you rolled for your siblings.
Yeah. Where is your hatred of the Irish?
Oh my god. Critical racism, baby.
Critical racism.
Yeah, I'm trying
Screen
to like.
failed. Oh wait, are you asking how to actually
Actually,
roll it like I did there?
Yes.
click it.
Okay. So in your passions, there should be things like I have loyalty, lord,
Oh,
love,
I can
family.
just click it.
Yeah, you just click it.
I'm making this so much harder than it needs to be. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Emily, where are you in the character creation process currently?
All over the place.
All over the place.
I have
Same.
probably done nothing in order. I know that I have 20 skill points. I just put in the bonuses that I get to the skills,
Mhm.
and that's it. And then my personality traits are in. That's about it. That's what I got right now. I have my +3 to my comm thrown in there because I was afraid I'd forget it. That's what I. It's not an impressive amount.
Well,
So we got these traits, and it said like my directed trait was suspicious of Salisbury folk.
Yeah, so
Salisbury.
on the sheet, there's a directed trait area. It's like under
where
the
is the
traits.
directed?
Let me look. I just gotta pull open a sheet. See it? If you click the add button under traits, it opens a directed trait,
I see.
and then you
Okay.
write the trait and the direction. So if I was to add one, let's say for Erwin, I would choose directed, and then let's say I was suspicious of Dallin, I would write suspicious Dallin, and no, you can't start with that.
Oh, can we?
Yeah.
Like the opposite of suspicious.
Would I add hatred of the Irish under passions if it's not already there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then I just hit the little rolly button, right?
You click the add button, and it'll give you a new line, and then you can add hate Irish, and you put a number beside it, the number that you got.
Oh, okay, I gotta roll it still.
Yeah, you roll it first. That's just for recording it more so. That's for when you're like rolling it during the session. And then I'm just checking for Emily and Megan. I'm just checking to verify how many.
I'm so. What just happened? I'm so confused. I don't know what I just hit.
So you rolled.
Okay,
and your
did I roll
threshold was-
appropriately?
No, you need to roll to determine your what does it say? 2d6, 3d6. What is your 2d6?
I think.
So you would roll that like you did for your siblings.
So 2d6.
It's like
I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned.
Yeah, please use the old-fashioned way. It will work better.
9.
Megan and Emily, I'm just
boy.
looking at your
Let me wait, 9,
attributes. I'm gonna try to figure out what your attributes. Make sure that you start with 60 points, but I'm pretty sure you do. But
Right, yeah, I messed around with my math a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I have the solid 60 points plus the
the bonuses that come.
5 for con
Modifiers.
and the +1 for strength, I think.
Hmm.
And the math should add up from there.
We just make sure this book does it the same way. I'm not seeing anything.
I just input the
Like
9
without
on my.
lying.
I have a healthy dislike of the Irish. At 9, I feel like 9 out of
Alright.
12.
We're
A little better than me.
so modest. 7, me at 8, Emily at 9.
Nice mild escalation of hatred.
I'm so
Just
worried
like,
about rolling
my-
for the love of my family. I'm so scared.
mildly irked. They rub me the wrong way a little bit.
They're just a little annoying sometimes.
Something a little bit off about them.
What's your love of family roll?
Mine?
Yeah.
3d6.
Oh, 3d6.
Knowing
You know
me, I'm
what,
gonna roll
actually,
a 1 on all 3 of them.
I don't want to jinx you.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think
fine.
that's what I rolled for my hatred of the fact.
I'm like permanently jinxed. I roll terribly on most things. It's just, I'm a statistical anomaly. Usually, I had a game where I rolled straight 5s for like 2 hours. I was livid, and it was in real
Wow.
life. It wasn't even in in roll 20 where you're like, oh, it's glitched. No, it was regular dice at a table.
Oh yeah. Yep, you could absolutely get 7 on 3d6. 'Cause that's what I rolled for my hate Saxon.
All right, we want to see how
You
much
got
I love my
3d6
family.
for your hate Saxons?
Yeah.
I'm so scared. I'm gonna hit the button.
All right.
Please like your family. Oof,
Ooh,
there's one. Oh.
no.
If you rolled low, you have a very good reason to, by the way. So.
I rolled an 8. I hate the Irish more than I love my family.
That's so sad.
Keep in mind, you're like barely a teenager at this point. You're at the start of this, right? For your characters.
I'm a whole child.
Yeah.
I'm a
You're-
whole child.
You're and the years pass fairly swiftly in this game, so you'll be. But I think for your concept specifically, we talked about her being, like around that age because it has to do with the lore. Like you would be
Okay.
sought out for your gifts at a certain time, and you're already late being sought out at this year that you're starting. So
Okay. So it's good that I hate my family a little bit.
yeah, and you're probably a bit bitter at your parents. So
I'm gonna be like 14 at the stage of like I hate everything and my parents. If everyone remembers that stage of 14, because I certainly had it. It's like I hate the
100%.
world, but
Oh, I
specifically
grew
my
out of
parents.
it.
I was a very mild young lad. I did not have the I hate everything and also my parents phase.
I was in a goth phase at 14,
Ooh.
so
In
the
Indiana, no
rebellion
less.
was.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it wasn't pretty. I actively hide the picture.
Let's throw that out there
Oh.
because that matters. I think.
Yeah, in Indiana,
Yeah.
that does make a difference.
What's the tolerance level of the state you live in?
Not great. Not great is the answer.
Not great.
My parents tried really hard. They really did. But I was not having it. I wasn't allowed to dye my hair, and I wasn't allowed to own black makeup.
Oh no.
But when I was a
same.
goth kid, I was very upset about it. Now as an adult, I'm like, thank God. I've sprayed my hair black before for like Halloween costumes, and I look like a ghost. If y'all, this is not the light doing it. I am pale as all get out, and so I'm very thankful they didn't let me dye my hair black because it would have been a nightmare. Would have looked like the Ring girl.
Would have been great.
Oh,
Then you could just stand
Yeah.
like behind the TV.
I
people
scared
come
my sister once because I got mad at her and I let all my hair when it was long fall in front of my face when I was a child. It's like give her Ring nightmares right after it came out. I was a terrifying child.
I have a question about suspicious Salisbury folk, real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My threshold is 3, and that seems incorrect.
Threshold is 3.
It says +3.
It
Yeah,
says plus
it's
three.
plus
sure
3.
if
So what you do is you take your suspicious, figure out your suspicious first, and then so it would be a 13 for you, for example, not 3. That makes
Got
sense.
it.
Yeah, it's like a bonus, but yeah, there you go.
Fumbled. Does that make me super suspicious of Salisbury folk, or like I so trust this person so much?
You might trust them for some reason. Suspicion, you've let your guard down, but it's
why would I ever
because
trust
they're
someone
so
from
charming.
Salisbury?
They're all so charming in their own ways.
How do I roll for my suspicion of Salisbury folk? Do I have to add it to passion?
Mm-hmm.
So if you hit the plus button, what we were just told underneath the personality traits, you hit
Under
the
personality
add,
traits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says plus add. And then you
Oh,
can...
it goes under personality traits. I was gonna put it under passions. So thank you. So it's
Hatred Salisbury folk.
So then you look at
suspicious.
your suspicious quality. There's
Yeah.
trusting/suspicious. And what is that right now?
My trusting/suspicious. 10 and 10.
Alright, so it would be 10 plus whatever it says for your Salisbury suspicion. So if it says +3, your total will be 13.
Let's see if the English major can spell suspicion when it's right in front of me.
Actually. I've just been staring at my traits this whole time.
Rolled 245 damage like it was nothing.
Jesus.
I looked to see what trait you rolled, and then I was like, oh, God. All right. Don't pick fights with Megan.
Yeah, I'll get you.
So, where would I find my magic stuff?
Yeah,
because it's not
that is
on it.
what your sheet doesn't have. So we're gonna have to find homes for it. I think it will fit just fine under your skills. So I think you can just keep adding more.
Add it under skills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they behave very similar to skills, so I think it'd be the best place to put it. If you're comfortable with, I would add. I don't think you have any other skills to add, so if you start adding your magic ones at the bottom, you'll remember quickly what they are, or you can put a little like a star next to it so that you know that those are your magic ones. You know, so you could do like star sense, for example.
Okay.
Just something for you to know that those are your magic ones when you're looking at the heap of skills on your sheet.
I was gonna say I'm trying really hard to get through all of them.
I don't really
I have to add a couple.
have a note.
I'm just gonna go through the knights real quick and make sure they get something equivalent in 5.2. The basic character creation. I want to make sure I'm still stuck on what I gave Megan earlier with the attributes. I want to make sure that knights get. I'm pretty sure the basic creation in 5.2, you add your Kimrick bonus and get to add like your own attributes from there. Allocating 60 on automatically goes by +3. Yeah, because where is it?
I do have intrigue. I lied.
You have intrigue?
I have intrigue. Only 2. +2, I guess. But I have intrigue. 3.
Yeah, so knights get to choose, like they have individual choices that they can choose at the end of their creation, where they could do the equivalent of what you get for free, Megan, which is like the +2 on +1 strength. So it's just
Oh.
deciding for you. But
So you're saying that I'm like better than knights, is what you're saying?
Wow.
in Constitution, you will probably be in most cases. You'll be
Hear that, Dallin? Get fucked.
God.
all right. Anyone need any help? Sorry, I was in the zone figuring that out for a while.
It's okay. I'm still so fucking lost.
It would probably be easier if we could actually go over some of things that are spoilers for you, and because we can't.
No, it's okay. I
Yeah.
just I'm still like on the 60 attribute points, honestly.
Okay.
Like so do I for my Kimrick thing
You get to add your
I
+3 to.
I start with my +3?
Yeah.
And then go from there, okay. And then
So like 10 would be fairly average for attributes.
No.
and I can't go above
Average for knights. I believe it's 18 is your max for everything other than Constitution, which is a 21.
right. And then I think okay, so then with with my modifiers, I am -4 to size, and then -4 to strength, and then +4 to dex, and then another +4 to con, and +6 to my appearance. Okay, so then that deals all the other rates and stuff. Okay, so then from there, I'll be able to add 60 points wherever I want, as long as it doesn't go above 18.
Correct.
Okay, alright, okay. I feel like I'm going like so slow. It's not that I'm like confused, it's just I don't want to fuck it up.
So on the starting skills, the numbers under those are just like essentially the bonuses, right? And then I have 20 skill points I can put anywhere.
Yeah, so for now, let me just see what it says for you for statistics.
All right. I don't trust myself to do it. I was like, I inputted the stuff that was on my sheet, and that is it.
So the magic ones aren't actually considered skills; they're considered statistics.
Okay.
So your 20 points to skills can't be allocated into those magic ones.
Okay, so the skills just go into the skills category, right?
Mhm.
So it can't be put in like sight.
Do you see where it says like heightening an attribute, trait, or passion increase by 1? So
I'm finding you. Okay, there. Okay,
yeah. So you have your starting magic pieces, which are determined by 2 things. One was the pagan divine patron that you chose, right? Might give you a bonus to a certain type of magic talent.
Totally chose that.
And the next piece is the bonus you got from, where was it? From the your mother being an enchantress, right? So you have a +3 to. Actually, no, those are skills.
Yeah, that's why I was more asking for skills because I knew magic was something we don't entirely
Don't want to
have.
mess with yet. Yeah. For
Yeah.
now, just understand that your magic statistics are different. They play a lot more like attributes than they do skills. So anytime something says you can raise a skill, don't include those. They're more like your top numbers, like attributes.
So when it comes to the skills, I have 20 skill points. In the sheet you sent for the gathering of branches, it just gives me so it's like awareness 3.
Yeah,
that's just 3 points that I add on to however many I put in, right?
Yeah, so you had like that base template, right? So where was it for you? Was it in your people section, I think?
It's at my people section, has everything in it.
Yeah.
In general.
So for the people section, you have I'm just looking for it right now. 20 skill points, +3 to surgery, fairy lore, first aid, folklore, read ogum, orate, religion, paganism. You'll start with those 3s. Those are sort of like your bonus or like your starting points in those skills, and then you get to add on to those 20 points wherever it makes sense for you.
Yeah, because I also after all the gods, so there's all the different deities.
Yeah.
And then there's a section that I have called starting skills that has an entire list of things.
Yeah, so add your starting skills in and then layer on your bonuses to those skills.
Okay.
That would be my recommendation.
That was what I've done that.
Okay.
So now I'm just to the 20 skill points. So now I just allocate the 20 skill points.
Yeah, where it makes sense. And if you have any questions on skills, I can help you out.
I was going to say, if this needs to be a longer conversation at some point, because I don't understand what a lot of them do.
No, it's you probably won't, and neither, like, not everyone has that familiarity, so we can go through that now as a group if we need to. It's not bad. Someone watching a 0 session, they would actually be interested in stuff like that. So why don't I read through the skills to some degree and give you an idea about how I typically roll them and when it might come in play.
Very helpful.
Yeah, why don't I do this for all 3 here? So skill descriptions. We'll start with awareness. It's a knightly skill, so knights often use it, is what it means. And they don't lose any honor or anything because it's not something called a non-knightly skill, which are knights aren't allowed or are not forbidden, but they shouldn't be doing stuff like that, I guess. So awareness is rolled a lot for, it's like your perception roll. When it's noticing something, avoiding an ambush, those sorts of things, spotting hidden, anything like that. Often used for ambush or like that sixth sense kind of feel to it. Boating is if you don't have boating, just ignore if you don't have a skill. It means that by default your template didn't have it. You can always add one though if you want to. So boating is not something I've rolled in the entirety of the prologue. However, when it's useful, it'll be very useful. So it's like it's basically utilizing a watercraft, navigating a watercraft. Keep in mind, a watercraft can be a rowboat, and you guys are really close to the marshes, right? So you might actually see a little bit of water more than Salisbury does right now. Surgery is surgery, or chirurgery is how it's pronounced. So chirurgery is just surgery. That's 100% what it is. It's not first aid. It goes to the next level. Chirurgery is used in this game when you suffer serious wounds, like major wounds. It's the only way to recover. So if one of you suffers a near-death scenario, it could be particularly bad if someone doesn't have that skill.
Yeah. Compose
is basically putting kind of like writing, or no, sorry, music. I was off. It's basically putting together a musical piece, but not playing an instrument. That's different. Be like the composer. Courtesy. The other thing I should note is chirurgery is considered non-knightly, so it's actually kind of dishonorable for a knight to do it. But none of you are knights. Okay, so compose. I went over. Courtesy is, think of it like etiquette. So knowledge of the court, what to do, the right thing to say, manners, all that stuff is courtesy. Dancing is self-explanatory, and it comes up during feasts. Feasts are they're going to be less common for you than Salisbury, but they'll happen. So it's good to have dancing. There's Emily, I don't think you're familiar with it. There's an actual feast like mechanic system where you get to choose things like intrigue or flirting or gaming, or you can draw random cards. When you draw random cards, you might end up being forced to dance by one of the cards, and
Yeah.
you know. So just noting, don't put points in things that don't make sense to you, but that would be why this game kind of does a really good job of that.
I got a point in dancing, so I was like, I don't understand why.
Just so you know, that point means you've got a 1 in 20 chance of success. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1's not a lot, but it's a starting point. If you want to be good at it, you want to be upward of 15. Decent at it's about a 10. That sort of thing.
I was gonna say I have this cat is gonna kill me. He's gonna sit. I have a
big camera for kitty time. There we go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's very sure. His whole butt was in the screen at one point, and I was like, please
Good
stop.
boy.
I told you he knows he's pretty, and this is what happened.
I know some people like that.
So yeah, on my thing it has a disclaimer that says I cannot put a skill above 15. 15 is my absolute.
Yeah, it's fairly common for a starting thing. So just ripping down the list, fairy lore is a knowledge lore. It'll come in handy. It's useful in this game for sure. But in general, it's lore that relates to fairies, which is different than folklore, which deals with non-fairy folklore. So it's kind of like there's folklore, and then there's a special folklore that's very specific to fairies because they're a very real part of this world, right? And they're a very real part of Arthurian ethos. Falconry is your ability to use a falcon. It can be used to help you hunt, things like that. Fashion is considered non-knightly. It can actually up your appearance, which can up your some of your skills, things like feasts. It can up a whole number of things, not skills. It doesn't up your skills. It ups your appearance. Sometimes you roll appearance for things like feasts and other scenarios. So it can be valuable. But there is often a money requirement for fashion. So you might fashion's better suited in nobility because they need the librum to be able to afford it. Yeah, right, exactly. First aid is considered a knightly skill. That would be, your standard first aid in almost every role-playing game you ever play. It's for battlefield wounds. It's not chirurgery. It's the first level of keeping someone alive at that initial point of major wound. Flirting is different than romance. Flirting tends to do more with seduction and like body language. It's more a way of drawing someone's attention or kind of manipulating them towards you. But it's also used a lot in courts between young, like would-be suitors, so noble knights and fair maidens or ladies. Or, as we've seen in recent Pendragon episodes, women trying to steal princes and pissing off their husbands, or vice versa. Could be the opposite. Then there's folklore. That's the knowledge that pertains to generally every other sort of folk tale that's not related to fairies. Such ordinary things as the lore on pigs, the local landmarks, household herbs, which I'll say because we're playing a game in England, so throw the H in there. Yeah, so that's kind of what folklore is. Generalist knowledge kind of skill. Gaming is for playing competitive games like backgammon, sword and shield, wooden wisdom, or checkers are all common.
What about Go? Is Go in this game?
Go is not West. Yeah.
It's dominoes.
Oh,
right?
no. Somebody needs to bring that game over
Scrabble.
here immediately.
My family plays like old lady games. We play dominoes and Scrabble a lot.
I think they do have cards at this era, not far after. Maybe not, actually. Might be a little later. Heraldry. So heraldry, we use it a lot in our other game. There are two ways to kind of recognize somebody. There's a recognized skill that allows you to notice the individual, but heraldry can help you understand where they're from and maybe even what family they're from, right? So it might tell you what county they're from, what kingdom they're from, or even down to what manor they're from, in some cases if they're local enough. Hunting is another knightly skill. It is used for hunting, which is useful when you need food or valuable when your knight's just wanting to show off your hunting. Industry is a non-knightly skill. So this would be basically like spinning, weaving, sewing, tasks of noble women, typically in setting. And that's why it's non-knightly. Intrigue is your skill. This is kind of your lead first, proactive, I'm in a court doing political intrigue style activities. So clever conversations, trying to elicit a specific response out of someone or get down to bottom details or understand the under machinations of something that might be going on between two characters. Orate is the art of speaking fluently, poetic grace, charismatic delivery, all those pieces. Play is an instrument, and the instruments are the knightly ones are harp and lute. The non-knightly ones are bagpipes, double pipes, drums, flute, horn, recorder, and trumpet. And if you need any of those, we can go back. I can also get you this book.
I just played
I'd
the
love
drum.
like that list at least.
And then read and writing are the same skill. So read covers off writing.
Now, I have a 0 in read. Does that mean I cannot read at all?
Well,
Yes.
Okay.
And that would
It's like-
be that would be like
Idiot.
super common in this era. Like there'd be a number of nobles that can barely read.
Yeah. Like I'm a peasant, so
I can't read. How embarrassing for you.
I get my lord to read for me. After
They gave you a language. What? So it gave me read and then in parentheses a language.
yeah, so that means you can read that language. So read Latin,
Okay.
read Ogum.
Ogum is what I got.
Yeah.
Is that useful?
I think it's tied to like the pagan side of things. I actually know the name because of a vampire discipline in Vampire the Masquerade is called Ogum. That's
Yeah. Vampire coming back.
One of the Dark Ages bloodlines had Ogum as a discipline,
Okay.
and it might be Ogum actually, or Oham. Who
It's
knows?
all a guess.
Cam.
My older brother's a linguist. He was going through the names with me to tell me what they actually sounded like. So if you really want to, I can give him a list of things and ask him to pronounce them for us.
Oh, it actually has Ogum here, but yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it, so happy to learn that. It's an old written language arising from Old Kimrian Irish.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like a bunch of lines parallel within a group, but not parallel within each other. Scratches along a straight line. It's most often used on sticks. Sometimes the symbols are phonetic sounding, strung together like words. Sometimes they're not. Ogum
Okay.
is called the language of the trees.
Okay. So I can read and write that
Yes.
if people want that. So
I got you for Latin.
Rec-
that's somebody else.
literate.
Ha. Point and laugh.
I'm sorry.
Recognize can be a really useful skill when you're trying to put together who somebody is. And you don't want to ask them outright. You see them across the way, or you try to recognize them as they're riding by and you don't have heraldry. So it's another option for that, but it can get you down to the individual human, which is nice. Oh, that's Prince Matic. You recognize.
Without having to do my thing of, oh, and how did you spell your name again?
And in this case, most of them be like, spell. Or, yeah. The priests do that for me. Ask them to write things and they do it for me. Religion, faith. That's the next one. So this can be, most often you'll see it as pagan or Christian. I'm going to butcher this, but it's like Wotanism, which is like the Saxon one.
The
Is-
Wutan.
Wotan? I don't know. Wotanism. But there's
I mean,
all the other religions that would exist in this era do. So there's Islam, Judaism, there's Roman Christianity, which is different than British Christianity, and has a presence, in this era. King Uther
Oh,
comes
boy. Hello.
Huh?
Sorry. It's
Huh?
just my neighbors doing fireworks, and I saw them, like, outside my window.
That's fair. So religion could be also. So the Romans are active. They have, Rome's fell at this point and somewhat recently, but there's still the Byzantine Empire, and Roman Christians are still very active. For example, Silchester, which is not super far from where you guys are, they have Civitas. I think you actually might even have a Civitas in Somerset as well. So there are still old Roman holdings and still some holdouts that are Roman Christians, which should be evident by Uther's dead brother, King Aurelius Ambrosius. Definitely a Roman. So romance is where it differs from flirting. This would be more like courting somebody, or the, I guess, PG version, the more innocent version of it, like a true romance, a true love. This would be, I think it was a more in previous versions, but it's more like a true piece versus this. This would spawn more from love versus lust.
So it's a more like love than lust.
Oh, you're so funny.
Yes, indeed. Singing,
Gonna
so
for it
that's
still.
your ability to sing. Straightforward. Stewardship comes in handy if you have a manor or even a little hut that you want to manage successfully and not have burned down or rot or decay, or you have livestock you want to take care of. You're administering, you're overseeing something, a farm, similar. And then swimming, again, straightforward.
Very useful skill.
Don't drown. Then tourney is the last one on here that's not a combat skill. So tourney is used to find out like if a knight has registered. Like it basically gives you a way of navigating a tourney setting, which it's worth noting there aren't a lot of them yet. It's more of a King Arthur thing, and Arthur isn't born. So it's a little more gritty Dark Ages at the start of this game, but the intention with this game is to go on through many years. Hopefully not in real life too many years.
I would be okay with that.
I'm down.
It'd be cool to have a long community of 2 different games that went on for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I just want to verify real quick, Bob.
Mhm.
My skills are set as they are, correct? I don't have any points to spend on my skills.
Let me double check for you.
Thank you.
Just to let y'all know, I'm probably going to call it for myself here in the next like 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, why don't we agree to wrap up at 10 our time or 1 year time, and
Okay.
we don't need to meet for like a part 2 of this. I think people got the general gist of our.
Yeah.
We can do the rest offline. Just
I
check.
just wanted to give y'all a warning.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I think I'm pretty much done except for heightening, and then
You get the
Rolling
woman's
for-
gifts,
yeah.
and that'll give you extra skills.
What are
Right.
women's gifts? Do we get women's gifts?
I get women's gift.
Oh,
I don't.
darn. I don't
token-
either. It isn't listed anywhere.
The token envy gets the women's gift.
You get the women's gifts, but you also get heighten any 2 statistics chosen from among the following. And if you choose skills that are under 15, they increase by up to 5. So you get, yeah. So let's say you choose to have 1 of your 2 statistics go to skills, you get 5 points worth of skills to throw in wherever you want.
It's nice. They're very low, which is okay. It's fine.
Keep in mind, yeah, like it takes a
Yeah.
while. Your characters are very much intended to be not to be
Sure.
rock stars at the start of this game.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
We're babies.
of course. Yeah.
you're all respectively within your like we should probably talk ages too. So we talked
Yes,
about
that was another question that I had, because I don't have anything that tells me my age.
mhm. And let me just check something here.
Mine just said 13 to 16.
Mine said, I think, late teens, so I picked 18, just because that is a late teen.
Yeah.
Mine was late teen.
Yeah, I'm the youngest.
A little baby.
I'm the baby.
And yet you can read.
And yet I can read actually very well.
Like,
I got a lot of
adult
points in it.
women.
You were taught.
I'm the smart one.
You're,
Token
God.
smart.
it does
Humiliating.
I'm the
actually.
nerd.
It does actually come from your magic like background, right?
I'm sure it does. I assume. I added everything together and my brain is mush after that. So I'm
like
really good.
priests and like enchantress and like people that play
Yeah.
roles like that would be responsible for specific. So read Latin would be like a necessity, right, for a priest or a brother of the Christian
Yeah.
faith,
I was like, not for me.
right? Read Ogum would be really important for someone who plays a pagan spiritual, which effectively you kind of do in a way.
I'm apparently, based on my stats, also the token healer. You've seen how that's gone once before. So good luck, everyone.
I
Re-
would love to put yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, Rebecca, why don't you go ahead and just mark 18 on your sheet for now for age, and we'll talk about it.
I'm comfy with that.
Ooh, both 18. Yeehaw.
Legal
I do
in modern day
16.
standards.
Just
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I should do 16 just so that I'm closer in age to y'all.
I,
Do
I
13, be a whole child.
I think that'll
Oh,
be
that's
interesting though, and it won't be that long. So you're probably talking by like the end of this real life year, you could be close to 16 ready.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
If I
yeah.
started at like 13.
Yeah.
Just
Should I be 13, 14, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, 14 would work too.
14. I'm gonna
Cool
put
with having
13
a
to
twin
14, and
baby.
I will make the decision
Gosh,
later.
what an embarrassing and awful age to be.
I was gonna say, what a horrible age. Can we
What
talk
a
about the amount of awkward you are at that
horrible
age?
14-year-olds are
and-
just so insufferable.
They're the worst.
Cringe.
They're
Cringe.
mean just to be mean. They're testing
They
the mean
are.
boundary. They're so mean. I hate middle schoolers. They're terrifying. Terrifying.
I'm just gonna run and grab a little bit more water, and then I want to
Sure.
talk just concepts at a really high level, okay? And
You
then
got it.
and then we can talk in detail more so as we go. But I want to leave you with some parting thoughts.
That's us.
Yeah, I'm so
When we
scared.
leave.
Oh,
So
and then we
scared.
leave. Okay, bye.
No.
Okay, bye.
I was saying when we leave, we're parting thoughts.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't. I'm slowly understanding as we go, which is nice. It's like we're gonna talk character concepts on a greater level. I was like, oh no. I'm so scared. I didn't have a name at the beginning of this. Oh, Beatrice.
Yeah,
She's
you
like a
did.
little tiny thing. That's adorable.
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Little
Beatrice is a little baby. I'm just a
Beatrice.
baby. I want to put that on a button or something. Like tie it to a key and then hit it whenever. Oh my goodness. Cass finally calmed down. He wants dinner. That's what he wants.
Me too.
The only reason he's bothering me.
I'm very hungry.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
hungry
about
too.
an hour late feeding him dinner right now.
I
'cause he gets
got
done at midnight.
home. I straightened my room up real quick because, yeah, I didn't know how much of stuff would end up on camera.
Mhm.
And then I had another game to play at the Brooklyn Vampire game.
Is Brooklyn still? Oh,
Uh,
Brooklyn's still going.
Brooklyn's still going.
Bronx is not.
Bronx is not. Manhattan is not.
I had such a good character for Bronx. I don't mean that in a conceited way. I mean I had a really good reveal about my character and I never got to do it. And I still refused. I refused to tell any of the people in my game.
Amazing.
I was like, I'm still not gonna say it because I don't know if I'm gonna use it later.
Right. I'm just getting to the point in my game where like the beast is finally like sinking the claws into my character because for the most part, she's a toreador, right? So like, and like she's just been very much like We gotta find like the peaceful solution, the best one. Like I don't want to see anybody hurt if I can help it.
Yeah.
And she means that, right? She really
Yeah.
truly means it, and she's been like trying to hold on to like her humanity as best as possible. But like this
Welcome
session,
to vampires, very rough.
I know, right? In this
You're, like,
session,
trying to
somebody
keep-
finally said something like that kind of sparked
Oh.
that sort of like corruption and sort of like thirst for something more, and the mask finally like started to slip, and it's
Oh no.
so fun. And our GM's really cool, and I like him a lot.
All right. I'm back. Why don't we just go through a couple of things for each of the characters, and then we can call it a successful session 0. Successful but confusing, but that's what we get for hacking together different editions of the rules to make it work. So at the start of the game for Aaronwee, is it?
I've been saying it Ironwe or
Ironwee?
Ironwe.
Ironwee.
Yeah.
We should nail down the phonetics. I'm not butchering that every time we do it, but
Yeah.
it's one of those cool to read, but let me not stumble over it 1,000 times. I'll get it down eventually.
Yeah, they're like very Welshy kind of sounding.
Very much, yeah. This is kind of like Kimrick is very much very Welsh, basically. It's like you get the Anglo-Saxon push from the east, and the west maintains that culture, but the east at this era, the Saxons are just invading right now, right? So
yeah. Because like I know that Summerland eventually becomes like kind of like Manchester-y, but I know that there's a lot of things that make that happen. So like in terms of accent stuff, I've been like, ooh, do I go the Mancunian route or
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
So when we're thinking about our naturally gifted our commoner with natural gifts in prowess, right? Here's what I'm thinking. So your character, Megan, in this case, probably had a dad who served in battle. Is that fair to say? As a peasant
I was
levy?
thinking the dad taught her, yeah.
Perhaps taught her things that are above her station, and above his station, right?
Ooh.
Yeah. So you actually serve in the farmlands around. So think of Barrowcrest as a manor, just like Durnford for Dallin or Winterbourne Stoke for Beatrix. You're one of those peasants that would come and be like, "My lord, that whatever just raided us," like that. That's you serve a labor life over those lands, and your father has been on good terms with through his life with some of the like knights, and they've actually given him some training. He's passed that training on to you, though it's always been sort of in secret, at least when it comes to the sword and the lance, tools that you wouldn't have direct access to. Right? If you want those skills specifically like sword and lance, like the knightly ones, you'd have had to somehow had a maybe you're using for lance, it was like you got a chance to ride whenever the lords were out. Your dad snuck you on the horse and taught you how to ride, and you were naturally gifted that way. Same with sword, he could have the sort of something he should have handed in, never did. Maybe one of the fallen, it'd be interesting is like one of the fallen Salisbury knights that raided your lands recently.
I have it's like got a crest and I've just like scratched it out. But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a very distinctive make, and I'm wandering around Salisbury now.
Just like doing graffiti on it.
Yeah. We'll just etch that out.
That like weird S that's everywhere.
My sword now, actually.
I think it'd be interesting, given your common birth. I could see your dad not being alive anymore, with a number of, maybe he was even killed in the Salisbury raid.
Ooh, I'd have to have a little bit of a hatred Salisbury folk for that, I think.
Just a little.
I don't know if suspicion's gonna cut it.
Yeah.
If he got killed in a Salisbury attack, my love of family is at a 14. Which is not horrible, and also it's my dad, so
That's my dad.
my dad.
So you have two options already on your. What do you have? You have hate Saxons and hate Irish, right?
I only have hatred of the Irish right now, and it's very low. So someone attacked my community, possibly killed my dad. It's the Irish, and I'm being very mature about the whole thing and being like, well, not all Irish are bad, it's just the motherfuckers that were raiding us.
Yeah.
And
So
if we want to...
we
would
could.
really like Goratrix and Dallin, though. I don't want to hate Salisbury.
Okay, but let's not do hate. I think hate might not be the right. Let's not do Salisbury. I think that could actually taint some things I want to do. I think it'd be more interesting if it was. We've already got the Irish on your sheet, and we can explore that a bit more. Clearly, they have raided if there's a hate for them. In general, we know they raided literally at the beginning of our prologue campaign. They're up in Estragales, up here, raiding, which is not too far from you guys. Like, they launched an entire army, right? That was where Dallin and the group like teamed up on Pascient and killed him. So that was like session 2, I think, of the prologue. So and only 3 years ago in this.
Okay, so Dad might have been killed in an Irish raid then.
Yeah.
And I'm being
And it
very
could
mature
be-
about it with my 7 hatred of them.
Yeah, it could have been later that happened. Okay. So that's kind of, and then I'll get into more of the details with each of you privately for your intros, because I don't want to spoil too much. I think the intros would be fun to leave for actually seeing what happens on screen. But we'll go down to Olwyn real quick. So for Olwyn, I imagine is not married, yes?
Probably not. No.
And the 6th sibling is British pagan. I'm thinking for this character, you're one of the up and coming nobles in the setting, and with an appearance of 18, you are probably on a lot of suitors' short lists, especially if you come from wealth. So that's kind of the position they're putting. There's more underneath this character, clearly. Thus the not getting into spoilers, but I think the way I would pitch this is you're a stereotypical maiden at the surface on purpose to some degree, if that makes sense. And there's aspects of you that aren't, but you're putting on a particular, let's say, facade for a reason. You're playing a role, not only because it's good for you and your family, but for other reasons. Oh. We lost Megan.
They came back.
I'm back. Megan.
All right. You for a second.
I'll
I was Megan, and GM Bob was nobody.
Oh.
And then finally with Emily, for your concept, your young character has Beatrice has literally just been pulled from what would have been a common life for her. Or that's what we're going to be doing at the very beginning. You're late to, that whole trope we see in lots of, young in with talent. It's like you're you didn't get those early years that you should have, but somehow you're still very competent in this, Harry Potter or
Okay.
anything else. Like, that's the kind of trope I think we're going for with her. You're powerful, but you haven't been trained and you missed a lot of informative years, other than the training that your mother had, but your mother didn't really train your gifts. In fact, she tried to keep you away from the gifts.
That would explain my 8 core
Yep.
of loving my.
And then just like that, at the beginning of the game, you're going to be pulled out of that, literally just taken from, not like aggressively, but you're going to be ordered from your house. Leave it.
You're my child now.
I'm so like scared to like wear.
Don't worry,
True
it'll all
nowhere.
lead along the same point.
Where's
Yeah.
the plot?
And yeah, so that's it at high concepts. We'll get into that with the individual introductions, so my timeline, if I have it right, keeping in mind it's the summer and we might have trouble lining things up, but the goal is that we're nearing, this session should be the very last year of 483 for the prologue, and the prologue ends at the end of 484. So the intros should be happening in 484, the same year that the Pendragon prologue is concluding, and then 485, a gathering of branches will start August, September-ish for the getting you three together, and at the same time, the folks that are partaking in the Salisbury game will be moving to their primary characters for the non-prologue part of the main meat of the game. That is everything.
God, you
Any
said August.
what's
you
that?
said August. You said August, September, and I was like, oh man, that's so far away.
It's
And then I realized,
not.
no, it's not.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. I thought the same. I'm like, oh, that sounds so far away. I'm like, no. And then between, we have some District X stuff we're going to be doing too. So there's lots of little projects going on. Rest assured, you'll be seeing this game launch and in fairly short order. Maybe a little past what we projected, but I want to keep optimistic if I can. Why don't we go ahead and close with outros today? When we get into the regular streaming, I think we'll be doing outros and intros. But for now, let's just all wave and say, take care, everyone, / the people that play in the other game. And we'll talk to you later.
All the other people.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Take care.